It is a Victory Tuesday, and the Denver Broncos just get fantastic news as we go into truly the perfect time for a bye week, a Week 14 bye, 2-game lead, 4 games to play with the playoffs in sight. It is going to make us an incredibly dangerous team come playoff time. In this video, we're going to break down why this was such a huge boost, things that were heard in the locker room, on the sideline after that game that give me confidence that this is going to just instill a level of confidence going into this Denver Broncos team that will fuel us the rest, hopefully through February. We're going to break it all down and more in this video. If you're new to this channel, I'm Ben, diehard Denver Broncos fan, and I'm riding high. How y'all feeling today? I was reading all over Twitter that was like one of the best Monday Night Football games of all time. And today at work, I'm living in Michigan. I grew up in Colorado, but now I live in Michigan. So many of my colleagues were like, what an entertaining game. That was awesome. I stayed up till midnight watching. I didn't feel like it was awesome. Like I didn't even enjoy it because I was so nervous that entire game. We have 8 years of Denver Broncos letting us down. I love that this team doesn't let us down. Like going into that game, it felt a lot like when we played the New England Patriots last year with like, hey, playoffs, if we just win this game, it felt like that. We're so used to being let down. I love that we do not have to feel let down anymore, and that is because Sean Payton has changed the culture of this team, and that is evidenced all over the place. Love this video here. Susie Wargen shot on the sideline just shows Bo Nix and Courtland Sutton after the game, just bro hugging it out. You just see a true care for each other, like a true, like that's a band of brothers right there. Those are young and hungry brothers. We know that during this season, the Broncos went on that East Coast road trip, back-to-back games in Tampa Bay and the Jets, where we were big underdogs. And during that two-week road trip, we stayed over and paintballed and they hung out and they like got close. And you just see that kinship truly being a unique thing. Like the NFL is full of a bunch of independent contractors who show up and play together sometimes, but don't actually like each other. That is so different here. And you hear it in almost every single interview, every single comment you hear one of our star players talk about. You truly see that they care for each other, and that is contagious. And I'm just absolutely loving it. I think this game here, to win this game when you have Jameis Winston almost throw for 500 yards, it shows that this Broncos team can win if we dominate from the jump on defense and we hold them to 16 points. But if we get into a shootout, this team is also going to win. I love that we're finding ways to win in multiple different ways so that whatever happens in the playoffs, we have the proof. We have the receipts like, hey, we can win a shootout. We can win a close game. We can win when we lose the turnover battle. That's the kind of stuff that will fuel us forward. And I'm just loving that. So we're seeing Nick Bonito go on a bunch of national shows after that amazing pick 6. I think he's a game back for the league lead in sacks. Depending on how things go, like if he pops off these next 4 games and continues his ascent, you could see him in the conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. Pat McAfee's like, hey, nobody saw this coming. Like, why are you guys performing like this? And what he said was, yeah, we know nobody saw this coming, and that was offensive to us because we knew how good our talent was, and that was offensive. So, like, this offseason, when I was playing all these clips of national media, like, dogging our team, a lot of the commenters were like, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they dog us. Well, you're hearing the players now say that they took it personally, and they'll continue to take this thing personally. It's a massive chip on their shoulder. Listen to one of our best defensive players talk about the chip on his shoulder that he has because of getting dogged out all offseason.
I definitely think that we just got that chip on our shoulder and we played like it. So
yeah. We got that chip on our shoulder and we played like that. They're going to continue playing like that. And now they have the receipts that we can win when our defense dominates, and when our defense struggles, we will find a way to win. And great teams find a way to win, and they don't care how they did it. As much as I cannot stand the Kansas City Chiefs, they have the receipts of like, hey, when this thing gets close at the end, we'll block a field goal, we will throw we will figure out a way to win, and that's what great teams do. And I love that is what Sean Payton is starting to build here with the Denver Broncos. We are now talking 2 weeks in a row where a prominent coach or a prominent player has come out and just point blank said, last year we would have lost that game. So last week we heard Sean Payton after that Vegas Raiders game say, last year we would have lost that game after fake field goal, after some bad luck, after them pulling out all the stops. We would have found a way to lose that game. And last night, you heard Zach Allen come out and say, hey, last year's team would have lost that game. Well, this year's team is different. We can stop being superstitious, or as Michael Scott would say, even just a little stitious, because this team is built different. The culture is different. They love each other. They believe in their head coach, and their head coach is proving to be worth he's the second highest paid coach in the NFL. We had to trade a first and a second round draft pick for him, and he is worth every penny and every draft pick we gave him, because look at what he is doing despite the Russell Wilson dead cap hit, despite not having all those picks. It is just phenomenally exciting seeing how night and day different this is, that we are talking about already doubling up the number of times we've scored more than 30 points from last season. That's a crazy stat. We've played some really, really good defenses. This Cleveland Browns defense is very good too. You're talking Myles Garrett. You're talking like one of the better cover corners in the league. You're talking an incredible defensive front. Like, this is to be dropping 41 points on them. I know we had 2 pick sixes, but still, that is a feat. And this offense is different. And we know, throw last night's stats aside because of Riley Moss being out, but we know that this defense is elite and will get us where we need to be. Loving here, Colin Cowherd's been on the Bo Nix bandwagon for a long time, but he really pointed out how wild it was that the Broncos were pinned back several times. I think that was one of the worst field positions we've been dealt in several games. I felt like we were always back on the goal line, and when you got Myles Garrett, who is one of the best pass rushers in the entire game, going against a guy who struggles with holds, if you hold when your quarterback's in the end zone, that is an automatic safety. And I love the trust that Sean Payton showed in Bo Nix on really the play of the year here. And I pulled up this quote here from, because it's in Spanish. Es Elway, es Manning? No, es Bo Nix, Pancho Villa. Very cool. I don't even know what that meant, but just seeing this here, like, you're backed up and you drop Bo Nix into the end zone. If you hold here, you're talking a safety, and you're just seeing the best throw of the year. Marvin Mims there, that's what we've wanted to see for a long time. Bo Nix hasn't connected on that, but seeing his connection on that deep ball is just wild to me. The next-gen stats came out, and Marvin Mims, there was a less than 1 yard of separation in there. So truly, you're talking Bo Nix dropping that into a dime, dropping a dime into a bucket there. Absolutely wild. Love this angle here. The absolutely high after that. Incredible, incredible play. And just seeing how some of our players are grading out. We have the confidence of going forward with a 2-game lead, but more than that, it's like we're talking, we're 8-3 since a couple bad losses there. Like, we really should be on a 4-game win streak, but we are talking a 3-game win streak. Sean Payton is going to equal last year's 5-game win streak because the wind is at our back. We are a confident team, and that's something we all should be hyped about. And Bo, leave in. Let me know, how are y'all feeling today? What is your final record prediction for this Denver Broncos team? And who do you want in the playoffs? Like, I'm really hoping that somehow we get to go to Pittsburgh and play the Steelers. That would be wild and exciting. I think that's a great matchup for this defense. And then we got a huge bye week, so let me know what kind of content you want to see this week, because we won't have a ton of breaking news. So I'm excited to dive into some draft stuff, but let me know what y'all are hoping to see this week on Sports Talk Denver. Thank you for riding with me. Y'all are the best, and Bo, leave.